Hey, everybody, welcome to Flash Fried, the show where we look at the news of the world and weep in despair. Right, Paul?
Well, maybe that's what you do with it.
I
look at the news of the world, which should cause a normal human being to weep in despair, and I laugh, sir. I choose to laugh in the face of all the tragedy.
Paul's in a mirthful mood today. Man accused of shooting Waffle House employee after dispute over face mask.
Damn.
And his defense. Well, look, TJ, I don't need to read this garbage article from some liberal rag. Tell you what happened. How you gonna eat you some hash browns in a waffle if you got a mask on your face? You tell me how you do it, TJ.
Yeah.
You explain that to me. How you supposed to say safe if you got a mask on your face? You explain that to me, TJ. Liberal.
A Colorado man has been charged with attempted murder after police say he shot a Waffle House worker after being told to wear a face covering inside the restaurant during the coronavirus pandemic. Kelvin Watson, 27, was arrested Monday by the Aurora Police Department, local Fox affiliate KDVR reported. The man reportedly entered the restaurant after midnight on May 14th without a mask. A waitress told the man he needed one in order to be served, the outlet reported, citing an arrest affidavit. He allegedly returned to the Waffle House with a mask, was not wearing it, and was told he could not be served. Police say they were told the man put a gun on the restaurant's counter and told the cook he could blow your brains out. The next day, authorities say Watson returned to the restaurant and was told he could not be served. Watson is accused of slapping the cook across the face. As the employees ran through the back of the restaurant, Watson allegedly shot him in his chest or abdomen outside, KDVR reported, citing the court documents. The cook told authorities that he ran in the direction of his home while calling 911, the outlet noted. He was taken to a nearby hospital and released last week. The Aurora Police Department confirmed to The Hill that the motivation for the shooting is still under investigation. The city of Aurora does not currently have a mandate that residents wear masks or coverings in public places. We are relieved to hear the Aurora police have made an arrest for this terrible crime and greatly appreciate the diligence of local law enforcement, Waffle House spokesman Najeri Bost said in a statement to The Hill. This case involves a senseless act of violence that should not be tolerated in any community, blah, 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 blah.
Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, useless platitudes.
So, you know, I when I saw this story this morning, it's like, yeah, man shot in Waffle. I'm like, man, why is this even in the news? This is a typical night at Waffle House.
Yeah, I mean, that shit happens in a Waffle House from time to time.
What did you say to me?
I mean, like, you know, if we were to if we're going to write about every single little Waffle House shooting, then, you know, I mean, that's all you're going to be reading about.
I mean, honestly, part of what makes Waffle House so fucking delicious is the knowledge that at any moment shit could jump off in there. You know, it's like the fear adds to the tastiness of that crispy bacon.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, you know, you're in a Waffle House, you know that damn near, you know, pretty much anything can happen there. Like, if
you know, it probably won't.
If you're in a Waffle, yeah, I mean, like, not necessarily, but you know it can. Like, if you're in a Waffle House, no matter how far fetched the situation, like, you know, if you're in a Waffle House and all of a sudden through the glass window a fucking, you know, like centaur busts in and is like
a centaur?
Yeah, centaur. He starts fucking decapitating people or something. You're like, well, it is Waffle House.
Okay, I have to admit, and maybe it's just because
of outrageousness, dude, that I would not believe.
Maybe it's because I haven't been in the South quite long enough yet, but I think if a centaur jumped through the plate glass front of a Waffle House I was eating in, I might go ahead and be shocked about it.
You know, I would continue right on eating my hash browns.
I mean, I probably would too, but
like, centaur.
Bullshit, dude. If a fucking centaur broke through the glass, you guys would be like, oh my God, what the fuck?
No, well, listen, Scotty, I'll admit, if I was anywhere else and a centaur broke through the glass, I would fucking freak out. But if I was at Waffle House, I mean, it's Waffle House. What do you expect? Centaurs happen, you know? Everything happens at a Waffle House. If the entire Waffle House was lifted off the ground and I stuck my head out the window and saw that it was being tractor beamed up into space by a UFO, I'd just be like, no. I mean,
you'd be fine with it.
That's just how it goes.
Oh, whatever, TJ.
It's crazy that this dude literally, like, rather than wear a face mask, shot somebody. Like, that doesn't get me. Like, I'm not surprised where it happened.
Well, it did say at the end that the police have said that the motive for the shooting is still under investigation. So these dudes might have beef with each other outside of what we're being told or whatever.
I mean, probably not. I think it's probably just the fact that this dude is just someone that is totally against that, and he wanted his Waffle House fixed, and they're just like, can't have it. You had to wear a mask.
Maybe the Waffle House guy fucked the dude's wife.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I guess.
And the dude knows it, and everybody knows it. And then the Waffle House guy was using
Paul,
that.
Let's be honest. It's a dude going to Waffle House at midnight by himself. We know what happened. This dude came there before, and he wanted his hash brown order. He's like, scattered, covered, chunked, and diced, or whatever. And he gets in, and it's like, scattered, it's covered, it's chunked, but it's not fucking diced. And it's a little overcooked. And he's like, you know what? Fuck this dude. I'm coming back tomorrow, and I'm going to give him a piece of my fucking mind. And before he can even sit down and complain about them fucking up his order from last time, they're like, you got to wear a mask, sir. Got to wear you a mask. And he's like, you ain't going to tell me what to do, liberal. I ain't wearing no mask. And then it just fucking popped off there. He came back with a gun. Lucky he didn't blow his brains out. The guy even said before, I'll blow your brains out.
Yeah, I mean, like, he gave him fair warning.
I mean, he shot him in the abdomen. I mean, he was doing a public service there.
He gave him fair warning. He's like, I could blow your brains out. You know,
he could.
No.
I mean, it is thoughtful for a shooter. You think about it. I mean, a lot of shooters just kill people. Yeah, like, I could.
Let me ask you this. If you're about to get shot, would you rather have a shooter that just, like, fucking his rage against you mounts, but he doesn't say anything until that moment he snaps and blows your brains out? Or would you rather have a shooter that lets you know, hey, I'm starting to get upset, and I am capable of blowing your brains out, so that you can modulate your behavior so as to avoid that outcome? You know, that's a very considerate shooter. So this cook is a piece of shit. You know, he had advance warning. He knew that he had incensed this customer. And by the way, whatever happened to the customer's always right, huh? Whatever happened to the fucking customer's always right. This is America. If a man doesn't want to wear a mask, shouldn't have to wear it. And as Scotty pointed out at the top of this story, how the fuck's he supposed to eat wearing a mask? You know? What's he supposed to do?
That's a good point.
You can't teleport hash browns or eggs through a fucking face mask.
You don't step between a man and his Waffle House. You just don't.
Bullshit. You know, this man obviously is the victim of a relentless campaign of harassment and persecution from this Waffle House, the staff of this particular Waffle House.
The employee, by the way, that told him to put the mask on, fucked his wife.
Yep. I have it on good authority. Fucked his wife right there in the Waffle House with all the customers watching.
Yep.
Damn. And they fucked up his order, too. That's pretty fucked up.
And then, you know,
and his hash browns were not diced.
Yeah. Undiced. I mean, like, think about it. I mean, like, so really, like, this guy is the victim here. I mean, really, because, I mean, like, first of all, he was asked to wear a mask that would prevent him from eating the delicious food that he wanted so desperately.
Yeah.
Thus defeating the even purpose of being a Waffle House. The cook fucked his wife. The cook purposefully fucked up his order. And even with all of that, this innocent shooter warned this man.
Fair warning, dude.
Right. I mean, I think that there is such a thing as justifiable homicide. Now, I understand the cook lived, but even if he had died, this would fall under the category, I think, of justifiable fucking homicide.
Wow.
I see.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I know this man shot this other man, but once you hear the reasons why, you will understand that there's incontrovertible proof this shooting was in fact justified on the grounds he denied this man a tasty waffle, a hash brown, bacon, and eggs.
Amen. Some nursing homes are taking resident stimulus checks, FTC warns. Nursing homes have no claim to their resident stimulus checks. That hasn't stopped some facilities from trying to take them away. The nursing homes in several states are requesting residents sign over their stimulus checks. The facilities may say they get to keep their payment if the patient is on Medicaid, which isn't true, said Louis Greisman, the FTC's elder justice coordinator. Here's why. The stimulus checks are considered tax credits, per the CARES Act, which is providing economic relief to people and businesses. Those tax credits don't count as resources for federal benefit programs like Medicaid. So the government cannot claim them, and neither can the nursing homes. This is not just a horror story making the rounds, Greisman said. These are actual reports that our friends in the Iowa Attorney General's office have been getting and handling. Other states have seen the same. Greisman urged facility owners to report the practice and return the money. Residents and their family members should contact their state attorney general's office, she said. And if you're not sure whether you're being swindled, the FTC has a resource to identify common coronavirus scams. Stimulus check scams appeared before the first checks were even issued. Since March, phony websites, texts, emails, and robocalls ask people for their personal or financial information to receive their checks, claiming to work for the federal government. Some links may contain malware that can steal users' private information, so scammers can claim their checks. That ending paragraph is kind of unrelated to the rest, but yeah, the main thrust of it is the nursing homes are stealing the stimulus checks.
I mean, it's just more elder abuse. I mean, these nursing home places are just absolutely rife with fucking examples of elder abuse, neglect, and outright theft from the people that live there. There's always, like, I remember reading stories long ago about these workers cozying up to these old people and convincing them in their addled states to sign over property to them or, you know, give them these giant balloon loans that never get paid back, you know what I mean, and nobody ever knows about.
So an interesting thing is nursing homes as a concept were actually started by two people who would say, like, yeah, we'll take care of the elderly. We'll take care of the elderly. We just put them here and we'll take care of them. And then they would murder them and take all their money and, you know, whatever else. So that's literally how the concept of the nursing home began. That was the beginning of it, was a murder old people scam. And then, you know, so I mean, like, you know, I'm not really surprised by this.
And with COVID-19, I mean, so many people died in nursing homes, being swindled. I mean, literally taking their stimulus checks. Like, look, you don't need it, Grandpa. Just sign it over to the nursing home. Fuck these places. They're totally unethical, immoral, just fucking social parasites. I mean, I'm not saying, like, no, look, now, not every single one of them is bad. There's definitely good ones. Like Taylor's grandma's in one that's really good, and she has never had a problem. But there's other ones you hear like this. They're taking people's money. They're abusing them. They're not taking care of them. They're dying from neglect. You know, like, if they're going to exist, they need way more stringent laws. They need federal laws protecting people. Like, they need stuff like when people go to these places, they can't transfer assets unless they have a sound mind. There needs to be way more precautions taken to protect people in these places. If they have to be there, there needs to have maximum legal protection. There shouldn't be some employee sweet talking them into signing over, you know, a property to them or whatever. That just shouldn't be allowed to happen, especially someone who's losing mind.
What was it? Happy Gilmore, where Adam Sandler puts his grandma in like a nursing home, and it's like Ben Stiller is like the evil order.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Can I trouble you for a warm glass of milk?
That's like the beginning of Happy Gilmore, and it's one of the best parts of the movie.
Like, you can trouble me for a warm glass of shut the hell up.
Yeah, he's all mean. Like, as soon as he's out of earshot of one of the family members or somebody else, he's all, you know.
He's super nice.
Yeah. As soon as he's out of the earshot, man, he's like a total fucking Nazi to these old people. He's got them like churning out quilts that he's selling and shit, and he's forcing them.
Market quilt trade. Maybe I should rewatch that again, because
I'm telling you, dude, I don't understand why. Like,
I tried to watch it, I was like, but you know, now that I'm thinking about that, maybe I'll at least go watch that scene again.
You know, I think it's aged better than a lot of people give it credit for. I hear the argument all the time that it's aged terribly, but I don't know. I mean, it's,
you know, like, look, the thing about the old people thing is, like, you know, other than kids, they're probably like the most vulnerable. I mean, they might even be more vulnerable.
They're more.
No one's looking out for them, really, right?
Not really.
Like, people reach a certain age where they become like a hindrance or an inconvenience. It's like, send them to the home. I got my own shit to deal with, you know? And it's like, here you go here to die. And, you know, no one fucking really checks up on them too much. Maybe like, oh, I'm going to go visit dad in the home for the, you know, once a month or whatever the fuck it is. And And they just fucking they sit around and they fucking get exploited by these fucking crooked nurse. I'm like, I understand that not all nursing homes are crooked, not all people that work there are crooked, but there's.
I mean, all it takes is one.
Yeah, it's obvious why it's rife there because people are just not paying attention, and it's stupid not to care about this. Even if you don't give a fuck about any of these old people, like one of these days that might be you getting exploited in your fucking twilight years when you're fucking not all there. So, maybe you should give a shit just for selfish fucking reasons. If for no other reason.
Or maybe not. Fuck these old people.
Fuck them. Fuck them.
What have they done for me lately?
Chance, now they old.
They done had their chance to live.
So fucking funny when an old person gets murdered and someone's like, they killed that 86-year-old man. And it's like, oh my God. But it's like, we throw 86-year-old men into like, here, you go to this horrible place to suffer and die and no one cares about you. And it's like, well, but when someone murders one, it's like, oh my God.
Of course.
Selective concern for the elderly. I love it.
Especially in a society that we so many people claim they love freedom and liberty so much, but the first fucking chance of having to deal with an obligation like a family member is old, they're just like, fuck them. Shove him away into a fucking box and never let me see him again.
I saw a fucking meme the other day. It's not about old people. It's actually about, it kind of ties both of our stories together, I guess, in a way, because it's about face masks. But the first panel was like, showed like some great American patriot, like, I'd do anything for this country. And the next panel's like, we need you guys to wear these face masks. And then the last panel's like, no, no. So, like, it just shows the emptiness of fucking American jingoistic bullshit. And, this is just another example of people pretending to give a shit when they really don't. Sheriff, man gouges out neighbor's eyes over loud rooster.
Okay, so have you guys ever grown up around a place where there's a rooster going off?
Yep.
Like you've tried to... So, it is like... In the movies and stuff, there's like this kind of stock rooster sound that gets used over and over again. And it sounds almost pleasant.
Yeah.
The truth of roosters is, and a rooster's crow, is that it is one of the most horrible noises that you will ever wake up to.
The other thing they lie about, too, is, in the movies... The sun comes up, the rooster goes cock-a-doodle-doo.
And that's it.
And that's it. In real life, that motherfucker don't shut up.
It's about 30 to 45 minutes.
He's just like, kill it.
I wouldn't say it sounds like that, but it's like pretty horrible.
I mean,
you do a better rooster than me. I don't know what to tell you.
Like it just has like it'll just do it every like 2 or 3 seconds for like 30 minutes.
I mean, they start probably about 10, 15, 20 minutes before the sun comes up, maybe even earlier.
Sometimes.
And until the sun is above the horizon, basically, they continue. So I'd say about an hour is not uncommon to have a fucking rooster just out there cocking, doodling, and doing. And then if you have like multiple roosters, well, then it becomes like a fucking competition.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And that's it's a cacophony. You know what I mean? It's literally never stops. It's one of the most fucking annoying sounds that a human being can endure, especially at a time when most people are like dead ass asleep.
So,
with that all under consideration, a West Virginia man accused of gouging his neighbor's eyes out over a loud rooster has been charged with murder, authorities said. Richard Wayne Ellison, 47, of Rock, was arrested Sunday by the Mercer County Sheriff's Department in the killing of Benny Fouch, the Bluefield Daily Telegraph reported, citing a statement from the agency. In an interview, Ellison told the detective he killed the rooster because it was crowing and then gouged out his neighbor's eyes because Lucifer made him do it.
Okay.
The devil made me do it. Dude, the oldest trick in the book.
To a request for a mental evaluation, the complaint said. The Princeton Rescue Squad found the body of the victim outside and requested law enforcement. When looking at the victim, the gouging out of his eyes appeared to be his cause of death. but the body was being sent for autopsy. Ellison was arraigned, and a judge set a $200,000 cash-only bond. It wasn't immediately clear whether Ellison had.
Damn, who knew Satan played a role in all of this?
Yeah.
Tired of hearing the crow?
Fucking rooster. It was like, nah, and well, went over there and killed the rooster. It was about that time Lucifer showed up and was like, you know what you should do? You should gouge your fucking neighbor's eyes out.
No, maybe man. Lucifer was the rooster. Maybe it was like the son of Sam. He's like that loud dog that the son of Sam heard talking about.
Come to snuff the rooster.
No, you know what happened, dude? That dude woke up again, and the devil was on his shoulder, smiling at him. Cock-a-doodle-doo. Listening to that cock crow again? Hey, I've got an idea. Why don't you go over there and gouge your old neighbor's eyes out and kill that rooster? You'll never be awakened again. And the guy's like, you know what, Satan? You on to something. And he fucking killed him, dude. That's it. He's done.
I think that rooster just started crowing him the instructions. Like every once, he'd wake up to that crow every morning, and then he'd be like looking in the mirror in the bathroom, and he'd hear a crow that sounded like, "Gouge out my eyes!"
Dude, this is fucked up.
Adult film star Ron Jeremy fights to save tree outside his childhood home in Queens.
Damn. Well, I thought, wait a minute.
What'd you think, Paul?
I thought Ron Jeremy was fucking dead.
No, he's not.
You did?
Why the hell did you think he was dead?
I thought he passed away, like in 2010 or some shit.
No,
he's out here defending a fucking tree, Paul. Damn, dude, really? You thought he was dead?
Wow, this is actually a really positive news story for me because I learned that Ron Jeremy's not dead.
Yeah, he's not dead. Adult film star Ron Jeremy is fighting to save a tree his father planted outside their New York home the day he was born. Jeremy took to Twitter Saturday saying the utility Con Edison was going to cut down the tree that was planted in Queens in 1953. The tweet includes a 2018 photo of Jeremy hugging the tree outside the home on Bell Boulevard in Bayside. And Ron Jeremy says, "I need your help. Help me save my tree. This tree was planted by my dad the day I was born. Please let Con Edison know they cannot tear down this tree."
Damn, dude. Poor Ron Jeremy. He just wants his childhood tree to live, man.
For some reason, this was on like The Onion. No, I'm sorry, not The Onion. But it's a ridiculous story. I don't really see why it's ridiculous. Like porn star wants to save sentimental tree. I mean, it's a little, I guess, but it's not like
his fucking dad. I mean, he was obviously long fucking dead. The
day he was born. I can understand him wanting to fucking sentimentally save the tree.
Well, to tie back to his family, I mean, the tree was planted in 1953. Like, there's obviously a sentimental thing. Like, his dad, I'm sure, who's fucking dead. I mean, he was born in 53. I mean, come on. Or his dad's ancient, but I would assume he's dead. And it's like, this like a lasting thing. And it's like, yeah, we're going to cut this fucking tree down. It's like, of course, he's going to be like, fuck you. Don't cut this goddamn tree down. This tree actually means something to me.
Jeremy, who's been staying at the Hollywood Hotel during the coronavirus pandemic, told the New York Daily News that a neighbor let him know that the trunk was wrapped in yellow tape last week. I looked after that tree all my life. They tried to chop down the tree. They tried to chop the tree down years ago, but I wouldn't let them, Jeremy said. I even belted myself to the tree. The tree is on city property, and the Parks Department can choose to remove it, according to Con Edison, who replied to Jeremy's tweet. It is up to the city to decide whether to remove the tree to avoid any potential damage it may cause to surrounding power lines.
Fuck the power lines, dude.
Yeah, like let this man save Ron Jeremy's wood. Let this man keep his tree. God damn it.
Yeah, do what you got to do to build around nice old established trees and neighborhoods.
Yeah, I mean, like this is I mean, like, come on, like how many trees we got, really? You know?
I mean, it's just one. It's one of the things that about living in a neighborhood that makes it nice to have a few fucking old trees around. It lets you know that
especially one that has a connection to a fucking famous. Yeah. You know, Ron Jeremy was born in this neighborhood. He's probably the most important thing to ever come out of that neighborhood. Let's be real.
He's got a dick that's as big around and long as that fucking tree.
I know. He's got a big dick. He's fucked a lot of beautiful women on film. You know,
and a big fat hog.
You know, maybe not everyone thinks that's the most respectable career or whatever. But at the end of the day, he made it big and he's famous. And, we all know who Ron Jeremy is. So, defend his tree. Why? Like, what reason other than spite would they have to get rid of this tree? Oh, it might fall on a power line. Oh, we're going to fucking hold what is this fucking prior restraint against this tree? Has this tree harmed any power lines to date? I don't believe it has.
This tree's innocent. Save the tree.
Even if this tree fell on a power line, like, how long does it really take to fix the fucking power line? It don't take but a minute. Do some pruning maybe.
The tree looks healthy to me. I mean, judging by this image, the tree looks pretty fucking healthy. Let the tree live.
The tree looks robustly healthy and happy. Leave the tree be. Save Ron.
Let it be. Let it be. Let this fucking tree fucking be.
That's where I'm at on it.
I agree with you, man.
Hungary bans legal recognition of its transgender citizens.
Good. They scare me.
Budapest, Hungary. Hungarian lawmakers on Tuesday approved. What's that, Scotty?
Budapest, TJ.
Pesh. All right.
You uncultured swine.
Pesh.
Thank you, TJ.
I didn't realize that it identified as a Budapest.
Of course you wouldn't, TJ.
Hungarian lawmakers am I saying Hungarian right? Or is it Hungarian? Hungarian.
TJ, if I had to correct everything you said wrong, we'd be here all day. Just proceed.
Lawmakers on Tuesday approved legislation. All right. Banning the legal recognition of transgender citizens. Amendments to the law on the birth, death, and marriage registry, approved mostly by deputies from Prime Minister Viktor Orban's Vidits party, will prevent transgender or intersex people from legally changing their gender to match their gender identity. The bill changes the sex category in official documents like birth certificate to sex at birth, defined as biological sex determined by primary sex characteristics and chromosomes. Once determined, the birth sex category can't be changed. The amendments were part of a large legislative package submitted by Deputy Prime Minister Zsolt Seaman. Ignore that J.
You're probably butchering it, but yeah.
Head of the Christian Democratic Party. Given the complete change of the biological sex is not possible, it is necessary to state in law that there is no possibility to change it in the registry of births, marriages, or deaths either. An explanation accompanying the amendment said. The legislation has come under strong criticisms from rights groups, which are asking Hungary's president to refrain from signing the bill into law and send it for review to the Constitutional Court. Among those expressing concerns about the legislation were the European Parliament, the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, the Council of Europe's Commissioner for Human Rights, and the Hungarian Psychological Society. This decision pushes Hungary backwards toward the Dark Ages and tramples on the rights of transgender and intersex people. Amnesty International Hungary international researcher Christina Tomasori said in a statement, it will not only expose them to further discrimination, but will also deepen an already intolerant and hostile environment faced by the LGBTI community. Everyone's gender identity should be legally recognized, and everyone should be allowed. Blah 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 blah.
Makes sense to me.
What a weird, meaningless use of the power of this, like
an abuse of power. It's taking away someone.
We're gonna preemptively say we're not only like we're. It's so fucking weird to just be like we're gonna preemptively just say this can't happen. Like, we're never going to let this happen. We need a law that says this can't happen.
What's your biological sex at birth? Male? That's what you are. I can't change it? Nope.
I mean...
Did your chromosome change? No. Chromosome didn't change. Well, that's it. I mean... And the access to that's case closed.
You know, like, if you're of the conservative mindset and you just, like, think, I don't like transgender people, and I don't think that they're fucking what they say they are, and blah 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 blah. You know, like I can understand taking a measure like, you know, I'm against letting them change their shit on the birth certificate, but like to take like a countermeasure in the other direction of being like, we're gonna like make sure that can never happen. We're gonna do everything in our power to make sure that they'll never be able to do that. You know what I mean? Like, we got to go in the opposite direction and actually start, like, you know, try to even prevent like a future generation from like changing its mind. Like we got to put as much, of a fucking legal barrier to this ever happening as possible, because the thought that maybe someday people will think differently is scary to me.
I don't know, dude. The fucking judgment has been in on my end for trans people and trans rights for a long fucking time. But I'm not going to claim that it was always that way. When I was younger, trans people were the butt of a lot of jokes and a lot of misunderstanding. I had a lot of assumptions about trans people that, turned out to be completely and utterly wrong. But I also grew up with a person that ended up being a trans person, or didn't end up being, was a trans person, and came out in her early 30s. And I saw, like, there's no doubt in my mind that it's real. You know what I mean? Like, and that's a contention that a lot of people make about transgender people, is that, it's just some kind of fad, and that they go through this trying to make themselves happy, and it never works. Like, I have no doubt that trans people exist, and if that's the case, then they should have equal recognition and equal rights.
Well, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is that even if you're conservative, it's not, it's just hypocrisy, because if you don't want the government telling you how to live your life and what to do and who you can love and who you can be,
it's fucking bullshit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But that's why it rings hollow, because if those were truly the principles those people believed in, they wouldn't want the government telling anyone what to say or what. You can say someone's biologically born as a male or female, but if they grow up and decide, nope, I'm trans and I want to become this other gender, I'm going to adopt this, persona, I'm going to adopt this identity. As long as it's not affecting you directly, that's none of my business.
Whenever a conservative starts talking about freedom, I'm always like, shut up. You're so full of shit. It's not even funny. You guys do not believe in freedom. I've never met a conservative who fucking believed in freedom to any fucking extent. You believe in like certain freedoms. That's what you believe in. You don't believe in like any sort of like broad definition of freedom. Now, granted, everyone's going to have some limits on there. Well, I guess not everyone. Maybe you could be like, I just believe in complete and utter anarchy and, with no system in place, and just fucking, do whatever you want. Everyone should just fucking laissez-faire.
Do what thou will shall be the whole of the law. Yeah.
Right. But even then, I don't really think of that. I mean, like, even that position, I don't really think of as true freedom, because there's going to be roving bands of fucking psychopaths with machetes and guns that control the fucking society at that point. So, it's hard to find a fucking equilibrium on it. But like the conservative idea, like they're always like, oh, freedom and individual rights, freedom and individual rights. Yeah, I'd like to identify as a woman. No! It's like,
well, if they truly believed in freedom, then they'd be yelling no, but in the sense of like, no, the government shouldn't do this. You should have a right to, like, even though I disagree with you, you should still have a right to change your gender or change your identity on paper.
Do whatever you want.
And live that way if that's how you so choose, even though I disagree with you.
Well,
if you truly value freedom and plurality, that's what you would say.
When it comes to these sexual issues of gender identity or, whatever, sexual orientation, there's a double hypocrisy with conservative people, because such a profound amount of them hold that position and are vehemently on the side of that position because of repressed homosexuality. And that's just been shown time and time again, just in this country alone. How many, hardcore, fucking commanders of the anti-gay movement end up getting caught with a dick in their mouth or their foot underneath a bathroom stall. You know what I mean? Like, how many times is this type? Like, how many times is a man?
Starnes? Something Starnes.
Ted Haggard is completely headed.
Yeah, Ted Haggard was my favorite one, because that one was like, he was literally the most popular Christian in the country. He was like the new Billy Graham at that point. He's having daily meetings with President Bush, like daily fucking briefings with President Bush was part of his purview.
Wasn't he also going to cheap hotels and doing meth and getting fucked in the ass?
Yeah, he was doing cheap meth in cheap hotels and getting fucked up the ass by gay prostitutes. And he got caught red-handed doing it, or red bootied, I guess.
Yeah, red bootied.
Yeah,
you know what? I mean, honestly,
what was that one guy that fucking it was like a senator or a Congress. I think it was a senator. Like
Larry Craig.
Yeah, Larry Craig.
Was that the one that
foot tapper?
Yeah, he was the foot tapper.
Yeah, was he the one that was also on like on the news being like, and Bill Clinton's been a naughty boy at work, you know?
Oh yeah,
he was a weirdo, dude.
He was part of the like real vocal anti-Clinton squad when Clinton was in power.
Oh, sexual immorality!
But of course, he's in a fucking. This is the weirdest shit to me. You know, I've just never even thought to do this in my entire life. But like, he's in an airport bathroom trying to.
Like, man, now's the time to get some dick. You know what I mean?
It's like, how does that even work? I've been in those. They're packed with people coming and going constantly. Like, how do you butt fuck somebody? How do you butt fuck or blow somebody in a bathroom? I mean, I'm sure it's possible, but
Paul is very busy. You go to the bathroom with them and you say, "Let us have sex," and then you have sex in the bathroom, and if the people do not like it, that is their problem.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow, that's a very Austrian perspective that you've got, Scotty.
What, Paul? You go to the bath. You've never been to the bathroom, and you get very horny, and you want to fuck, so you go and fuck in the bathroom.
I've been in a lot of bathrooms, and I've been horny, but I guess I've never been horny enough to like reach underneath the stall with my foot and hope that whoever was sitting over there shitting would blow me.
Hold me closer, random bathroom guy. How my butthole while we wait for our flight.
Spotify strikes podcast deal with Joe Rogan worth more than $100 million.
Oh, Rogan got paid, dude.
Yeah, this is huge.
$100 million.
I cannot fucking believe Joe Rogan. I mean, I'm sure he probably didn't get it all at once, but I mean, that's still an insane amount of money to get for your podcast.
Wow. Joe Rogan is taking his podcast exclusively to Spotify technology in a licensing deal worth more than $100 million. According to a person familiar with the matter. The licensing agreement is one of the largest such deals in the rapidly growing podcast business. The comedian, television host, and mixed martial artist, commentator, has become one of the most influential and lucrative podcast hosts in recent years, especially with his popular vodcast video podcast format on YouTube. Mr. Rogan, 52 years old, had so far withheld his podcast from Spotify, saying the streaming service doesn't pay enough. And he has been generating significant revenue on their services, such as Alphabet Inc.'s YouTube. His full library, dating back 11 years, is to hit the service on September 1st and become exclusive to Spotify after that before the end of this year. His video podcast, which will also appear on Spotify, will no longer be available on YouTube.
Damn.
Spotify has spent hundreds of millions of dollars acquiring entire companies, including Gimlet Media and Bill Simmons, The Ringer, blah, 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 blah. That's crazy. You know, and Spotify, last I checked, doesn't even have video shit. So they must be like rolling out some new features just to fucking accommodate Joe Rogan here. I mean, obviously they want him bad because he draws in a huge
Rogan was making, I believe, the last time I saw listed about $30 million a year. So they basically had to come to him and just go like, look, we'll give you $100 fucking million. I mean, Rogan's so fucking big now. I've noticed he's getting a lot more criticism lately, but I mean, dude, he's such a draw that they just know with this service. Like, and they actually signed another huge podcast, Last Podcast on the Left. They signed them to an exclusive deal, I believe, last year. So they're just snapping up all the major podcasts and trying to get people to say, hey, if you want a podcast and be the it spot, it's on Spotify.
Yeah, but you know what? They still don't have the greatest podcasts in history. So, like, what idiots.
Yeah, you can get us way cheaper than Joe Rogan, too.
Yeah, we'll do it for 50 mil.
Yeah, or 20, dude. We'll do it for 20. Fuck it. Why would we not do it for 20?
Let's not sell ourselves short. I can do it for fucking a measly ass
20.
Oh, okay. You don't want to upgrade the value of the fucking show on the whole by about fucking 9,000%.
Shut up, Paul. We're already making fucking $70 million a year.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, shit. Then you and I we need to have a talk.
Yeah. If we're making $70 million a year,
I think my paychecks might be missing a 0 or 2 every month.
TJ, me and Paul are gonna come visit you. I know coronavirus or not, we need to have a talk.
Actually, it won't be me and Scotty, but there will be a gentleman with a tire iron visiting you later tonight.
Oh, I've already bought the gentleman.
Oh shit, we're fucked, dude.
I bought him with the zeros I took off your check.
Yeah, well, fair enough.
Yeah, good for Joe, I guess. Well, rock on. Cool.
I mean, that's crazy.
It kind of sucks, honestly, that he's not, that whole library of shit on YouTube is just going to be gone, because there really is an astonishing amount of shows.
Oh yeah, but I mean, they're all going to be on Spotify, so I mean, it's not like you're going to like lose them or whatever. So.
Well, I mean, yeah, but it just YouTube. I envy him. He's getting to fucking hit the eject button from YouTube in a viable way.
Yeah, that's true. That's
great, dude.
Right.
How rare is that?
I've heard people speculating that maybe Spotify is going to roll out video support more broadly, and that maybe some creators will start going over there. But I don't know. Who knows?
I mean, it's all kind of dependent. I mean, if they've got Joe Rogan over there, they're tolerant of.
They're clearly trying to get more people on their platform.
Well,
so.
not only that, but it shows that they're tolerant of at least mildly edgy content.
Sure, that's true. Because Joe Rogan's definitely had his fair share of criticisms for having certain guests on and stuff.
Not only that, but just statements that he's made. He's pretty much constantly these days under fire for something he said or did.
Joe Rogan said this. Joe Rogan did that.
So if they're courting controversial figures, then look, dude, my fucking my curiosity is piqued here. Like if Spotify does roll out a podcasting service with video, it might be worth our time to check it out.
Oh yeah.
Because YouTube sucks my fucking cock and my balls all at once, but not in a good way. Not in a good, leading towards an orgasm
No, it's like
way.
a painful vacuum that it gaffles your balls and dick up, and you're like, oh, it hurts. Stop it, YouTube. And it's like,
just like a vacuum that sucks way too hard and is all dry and chafy.
Yeah, fuck that.
Fuck YouTube. Come on, Spotify. Be cool.
Hot nurse disciplined for wearing bra and panties under see-through PPE gown. I mean,
why?
I don't know. This naughty nurse is going viral. A nurse in Russia was suspended from the hospital where she worked in Tula, 100 miles south of Moscow, after she arrived at her shift in the all-male coronavirus patient wing with no clothing save for her skivvies under her transparent personal protective equipment. The unidentified staffer told the managers at Tula Regional Clinical Hospital she was too hot to wear clothing underneath the head-to-toe vinyl gown, which protected her from contracting COVID-19. The incident was first reported by the local news outlet, the Tula Pressa newspaper. While there was reportedly no complaints from her patients.
Damn right, there was no complaints.
Yeah, no fucking shit.
Punished the nearly nude nurse. I mean, does this really look nearly nude to you?
No.
I mean, that's whatever. I mean, that's so dumb.
She's protecting herself, dude. She's wearing full PPE.
Non-compliance with the requirements for medical clothing. The nurse claimed she did not realize her underwear was showing through the PPE. Yes, she did. I mean, look at it.
Yes, she did. Yeah.
I mean, come on. Yeah. She knew that.
But who cares?
And nobody was harmed.
Yeah, like who was hurt by this? Why punish the nurse? You need to reward her. Seeing this outfit, no one wants to die. That's one of the patients, I guess.
Dude, that fucking patient is awesome.
At least some have a sense of humor. Okay, so the overheated healthcare worker has yet to make a public statement on the incident. However, readers of the Tula Press had plenty to say. At least someone has a sense of humor in this gloomy reality, said Sergei Radnov. So I guess these are just readers. Marina Astronaut added, "Well done. She raised the mood of the patients." So
hell yeah, that's not the only thing she raised.
As of Wednesday, there have been approximately 309. Yeah. We don't care about that. Yeah, leave this bitch alone. The fuck's wrong with you?
In fact, make this the standard. Like all hot nurses have to be naked now underneath their PPEs.
Yeah.
To give a sense of hope and cheer to people who desperately need it.
Give these patients of coronavirus something to live for.
The people need your titties and your ass.
Hold on. Look at this guy. You know what I'm saying?
He's got his dick in his hand right now.
Yeah, he's got his hand. Yeah, he's got his hands on his dick.
This guy's like, you know what? This COVID-19 has been bad.
Ass.
Look at that dude laying on the bed next to her.
He's like, is this for real? Damn.
He's like, God damn.
Hell yeah.
I may be dying of COVID-19, but that ass makes me want to live to fuck one more time.
Right. So she's giving people hope. God damn it. What's wrong with that?
Not a goddamn thing.
Hold on one second.
Hold on. You lost, TJ? TJ, you lost?
Did you guys freeze?
TJ.
No, I just noticed that my program was alerting me of some recording issues, so I just stopped recording and started again.
Did you guys freeze?
TJ, I will see you in fucking hell, dude. And if TJ records anything, it's just like a fucking clusterfuck.
Skipped frames detected, 16% over last 2 minutes.
Oh, TJ.
It's okay. Well, we're both recording.
I know.
We've given up on having TJ record the show. Scotty and I are simultaneously recording this, and one of us will
have
have a good copy of this.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, whatever.
Maybe.
Maybe. Hopefully.
Potentially.
It's possible. All right. Trump threatens to hold up funding to Michigan, Nevada after vote by mail announcements. President Trump on Wednesday threatened to withhold money to Michigan and Nevada, two critical battleground states, if they forge ahead with plans to expand voting by mail options amid the coronavirus pandemic. Breaking, Michigan sends absentee ballots to 7.7 million people ahead of primaries and the general election. This was done illegally and without authorization by a rogue Secretary of State. I will ask to hold up funding to Michigan if they go down this voter fraud path. The president on Twitter.
It's bullshit. If it was really illegal,
this is just voter suppression by Trump. That's all.
Yeah, if it was truly illegal, and Trump is the president, then Trump should order that rogue Secretary of State to be arrested under whatever statute of law they violated. Why would he say withhold the funding if it's truly illegal? Then shouldn't he say the Justice Department will now investigate and open an immediate investigation and have this person be arrested because they violated federal law?
Don't give him any ideas, Scotty.
No, I'm just saying, like, if it truly was illegal, wouldn't that be what would be done? I mean, but it's kind of ridiculous. So people can vote by mail. So now, what? I mean, I don't want to get it.
State of Nevada thinks they can send out illegal votes by mail. Illegal vote by mail ballots, creating a greater voter fraud scenario for the state and the U.S. They can't. If they do, I think I can hold up funds to the state. Sorry, but you must not cheat in elections, the president said.
I love how the president carries out this type of like delicate politicking that needs to be done between the federal and state level governments on Twitter in front of everybody, like a fucking petulant 16-year-old girl.
Well, because he wants his cheerleaders to be like, yeah, fuck them states.
But not to mention, there's nothing illegal about doing that. And absentee ballots have been, and pretty much, like, I mean, I don't know how far back it goes, but I know in my lifetime, I've never heard of an election that didn't have ballots from overseas and people that voted early by mail. Like, so that was fine. That wasn't rife with fraud, but now these states want to let everyone vote by mail or have the opportunity to do so. And now it's like, it's voter fraud everywhere. I mean, yeah, could someone get a ballot in the mail and fill it out and cheat? Sure, that's possible. But, I mean, provided there are safeguards put into place, it's no more unsafe than voting with a Diebold machine. You know, I mean, probably at least then there might even be some record if it's done by mail.
Yep.
And killed, then sexually violated a woman outside a homeless shelter. Cops.
This is just a sad story.
A 55-year-old man is accused of murder and necrophilia after violating a woman's corpse outside a Macon, Georgia homeless shelter, according to Bibb County cops. Kenny Oberon Whitehead was arrested after a 911 caller reported two people having intercourse on the front steps of Central Georgia's Daybreak Day Resource Center. Stupid name. Around 4 a.m. Sunday, police said in a press release. Cops who reportedly witnessed the one-sided sex act didn't notice one of the parties was motionless until they asked Whitehead to pull up his trousers. The sheriff's office initially reported the dead woman, whom they did not identify, had been deceased for some time and that foul play wasn't suspected. That changed Monday. Bibb County Sheriff's Office investigators have determined after further investigation that this incident is now a homicide, police said in a press release. Kenny Whitehead now has an additional charges of murder and rape added to the current charges of necrophilia.
Damn.
Details of the victim's alleged murder were not reported, though police say her family has been notified.
Man, can you imagine? So this guy goes to prison, and he's sitting there, and people are talking about, what are they in jail for? What you in for? Oh, murder and necrophilia. Like, what?
I killed and then raped the corpse of a woman.
And then I raped
killed.
the corpse on the steps of a public building.
At least he's probably going to get left alone in there.
Yeah. All right. See ya.
Yep. Give that fucker a wide berth.
Well, this guy's obviously going to spend the rest of his life in prison. So.
Yeah, that's a fucked up story, man.
Yeah. Poor Lonely.
Dude, I don't know what else to say. What else do you say?
I mean, murder's really bad, but then fucking the corpse too. It's like adding insult to injury.
Here's what you say. Come on. This is what happens when a man is driven to loneliness.
And it said her family had been notified. So somewhere in the fucking United States, some poor family got a call that somebody that they cared about had their corpse raped on the front steps of a fucking homeless shelter by this dude.
I wonder if the call was very tactful, or if it was like completely tactless. Like, yeah, your daughter was murdered, and we found the murder. He was fucking a corpse right there on the steps of the home.
Well, look, we were watching it to see what happened because it's pretty normal and stuff. But then we realized your old mom there wasn't moving, and she had been fucking dead. So that's kind of bad.
You know, at first we just thought she was like, you know, like a real cold fish, you know, but then turned out
thought she was a dead lay. We didn't know. We didn't take it literally, but I mean, now it is literal.
She didn't say yes, but she didn't say no. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, dude. If there is a hell, I'll see you gentlemen there.
Ho ho, hee hee, ha ha. Oh, that's some funny stuff, Paul. You think this is fucking funny, Paul?
I mean, okay, kind of, yeah.
yeah.
On some level, it's kind of funny. Yeah.
To be fair,
I mean, I'm not glad that it happened. You know, I'm sure Paul's. Me and Paul are out there rooting for fucking necrophilia.
But it's fucking absurd. It's, you know, it's funny. It's absurd to the point of being funny to me.
Yeah, there's definitely an element.
I mean, obviously, there was a horrible act at the core of this. And,
I hope that he wore a condom.
Paul's like,
I'm trying real hard to be tactful, but
obviously it's horrible.
Dude, well, you know what it is? It's the fact that like people, they care about people in their social circle, and then outside of that, you're carrying is like, yeah, you have basic human empathy, but it's an absurd story. So it's like we laugh at it because, you know, we laugh to keep from crying. We laugh to keep from crying.
September 11th convict. God, what is this fucking? All right. September 11th convict now says he renounces terrorism and bin Laden. Let this man go. Let him go.
Well, in that case, excuse us while we get you your things. And where would you like to go, sir? How can we set you up?
The only man ever convicted in a U.S. court for a role in the September 11th attacks now says he is renouncing terrorism, Al-Qaeda, and the Islamic State. Mm-hmm. Zacharias Moussaoui is serving a life sentence in federal prison in Colorado after narrowly escaping the death penalty in his 2006 trial. He was sometimes referred to as the missing 20th hijacker, and while he was clearly a member of Al-Qaeda, there is scant evidence to suggest he slated to hijack a plane on September 11th. Instead, prosecutors pinned responsibility on Moussaoui because they said he could have prevented the attacks if he had not lied to the FBI about his knowledge of Al-Qaeda and its efforts to attack the U.S. when he was arrested in August of 2001. In a handwritten court motion Moussaoui filed with the federal court in Alexandria last month, Moussaoui wrote, "I denounce, repudiate Osama bin Laden as a useful idiot of the CIA/Saudi. I also proclaim unequivocally my opposition to any terrorist action, attack, propaganda against the U.S."
Let him go. Let him on out of there.
Warn young Muslims against the deception and manipulation of these fake jihadis. Yeah, let this man go. Set him free.
You know what I think he probably really wants? They say he's in Colorado, but I know exactly where he is. He's in Florence, Colorado, and it's the Supermax fucking federal facility there.
Set this man free and give him a TV
show.
You
know what else is there? The Unabomber. Anyway, if you really fucking piss the federal government off and they don't just fucking execute you or kill you, this is where they send you. Supermax. So he's probably just hoping, like, maybe I can get a Supermax if I say all this is bullshit and bad.
Release Moussaoui. Right fucking nowie. Release Moussaoui. Right fucking nowie. Let's go.
Release Moussaoui. Right fucking nowie.
Works. That's not the one.
So and he's released. He has been released. Breaking news.
We got to not only
Moussaoui has been released due to chant of two neckbeards on the internet.
Not only do we release him, but we fucking give him a reality show on E! Entertainment, whatever, you know?
Yeah.
That's what we got to do, guys. I mean, you know, maybe you guys don't think that's what we need to do.
Oh, dude, they can have an episode where he goes to eat some like beef or something. It's like, beef. And it's like, was it halal or not? Oh, and he finds out it wasn't, dude. So then there's a big dust up.
Yeah, and he's got like a real moral conundrum on his hands, you know?
Damn, dude. Show writes itself. People in America will eat it up.
Hell yeah, they will.
And then half the time he's planning terrorist attacks. But I mean, whatever.
I think you should be planning. You should be like doing like.
But it could be a nap. Like he's like, I will bomb a mall, and of course the mall will be empty because no one goes to them anymore, and it'd be like, 3 people died. Like, the local mall was
destroyed. We're going
to
demolish this thing next week anyway.
Local authorities would like to thank the terrorists that blew up the old Sunshine Mall.
F-35 stealth fighter crashes at Florida base. An F-35 stealth fighter crash landed at Eglin Air Force Base in Florida just days after an F-22 crashed at the same base. The most recent incident occurred Tuesday night when the pilot was participating in a routine night training sortie. I don't know what a sortie is. According to news releases on the crash, the pilot was able to eject and is in stable condition after being taken to the hospital for monitoring. The first accident took place on Friday when an F-22 crashed at the base's training range. The pilot safely ejected, was taken to the hospital, reported to be in stable condition. Both crashes are under investigation.
UFOs.
I'm just trying to pull up right now.
What are you trying to spend?
Okay.
So how much we spent on this F-35?
Looks like on a lot of them. Okay, let's see. So the 102 F-35As, the CTOL, $89.2 million. That's including the jet engine and fee for the aircraft cost. That's per. So he potentially, I'm not sure which one it was, but anywhere from $89.2 million to $107 million per jet. And I think you factor in the lifetime of the program, it's over like, I think it's like I'm trying to see what the actual amount we've spent overall is on the program for a fucking jet that, okay, the program cost according to Wikipedia is so far program cost through 2044. Oh my God. $428.4 billion, $1,196.4 billion for operations and sustainment through 2077 and then year dollars, 2019 estimate. So over $1 trillion will be spent on jets that so far I don't think have any real combat application at this point, haven't really been used, have been nothing but a fucking quagmire. We're going to spend $1 trillion on these fucking things. Yeah, so they're talking about the one that worth $90 million. They're talking about the first one I was talking about.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah, so let's spend a fucking $1 trillion on these fucking jets that don't fucking work.
I think it's good.
I have a counter argument.
Go ahead, Paul.
I have a counterpoint and a counter position.
Sure.
Scotty claims that these jets are a boondoggle and that they're failing rapidly and constantly. I think that the aliens that have been watching this planet have finally seen us create an aircraft that might be able to compete with some of their fighters, and they can't allow it to happen.
So they've been sabotaging?
That's right. The F-35 is so fucking badass that the aliens actually fear it, and they don't want it to get into mass production, and so they're destroying it in midair, hoping that we will abandon the project because they're planning an invasion. And if we have a bunch of F-35s, then we win, and they know it.
Yeah, the aliens who've mastered interstellar travel are fearful of our fucking boondoggle jet.
We cannot handle this F-35. It is too badass. Look how fast and cool it is.
Even though we have mastered interstellar travel, it can obviously travel vast distances much quicker.
We can handle one or two of them, but imagine a fleet. We must stop this project. These monkeys will soon have a weapon that can challenge us. Nothing that we have is as fast and cool.
Yeah, I'm sure that's exactly what the alien said.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, Sky, just because they've mastered interstellar travel doesn't mean they can necessarily go faster, you know? Like, maybe they just learned how to bend space.
Okay, then they could bend space and be right on you and then destroy everything.
Yeah, but then when it comes to that fucking air battle, when the direct maneuverability of their ships is pitted against ours, you know?
Okay, Roland Emmerich. You know what I mean? Sure. Yeah. Welcome to Earth.
This day. Welcome to Earth, bitch.
What if the F-35 does a sweet backflip and tricks the alien into flying into the side of the canyon?
Yeah, I don't know, man. What if it does it?
Did you, bitch?
Then we send Jeff Goldblum up with a computer virus.
What if right as the alien shoots at the F-35, the F-35 does a total barrel roll, and all the shots miss, and it hits a tree that then slams into the alien?
Well, that's the most compelling argument you've made, because we know the barrel roll pretty much makes you immune to all damage.
Yes, it does.
If you fucking fire a laser at something, like, and you do the barrel roll at the right time, it's like, and it actually ricochets back and destroys the alien ship.
I know that's bullshit. Disney puts an end to unauthorized Club Penguin Online after it becomes a haven of explicit penguin e-sex.
Oh, yeah.
What is Club Penguin Online?
Oh, yeah.
It is Club Penguin is like I'm trying to explain what it is. It's like a graphical chat room.
Okay.
Do you ever do Habbo Hotel?
No.
All right. It's kind of like that, as I understand it. Like you create
I've never heard of is kind of like something else I've never heard of.
Right. I'm sorry about that. That's why I said I was having trouble trying to describe it. It's like you create a little avatar.
Uh-huh.
And then you go into rooms where other people that have created little avatars are, but pretty much the main purpose of it is to like chat and play little games together and trade little items.
All right, I guess that makes some sense.
But it's mostly just a chat room where you chill in a virtual environment. And then people were using it to fucking meet up and go to their little, like, hey, I'm the duck. Oh, hey, I'm the panda. Well, yeah, meet me in my little flower hut and let's butt fuck each other. You know what I mean?
Okay. Disney has put the final nail in the coffin of Club Penguin Online, one of the largest unofficial fan servers for the casual multiplayer game. The server was shut down Friday following a Digital Millennium Copyright Act takedown from the Walt Disney Company earlier in the week. This follows an investigation by the BBC, which found that users of the online social network, most of whom are children and teenagers, were being exposed to explicit sexual and racist messages. One man has since been arrested on suspicion of possessing child abuse images. Child safety is a top priority for the Walt Disney Company, and we are appalled by the allegations of criminal activity and abhorrent behavior on this unauthorized website that is illegally using the Club Penguin brand and characters for its own purposes, Disney told the BBC. We continue to enforce our rights against this and other unauthorized uses of the Club Penguin game. There's some kind of pixelated shit going on.
Whoa, dude. Gangbang.
One of the first social networks specifically aimed at children, Disney's Club Penguin launched in 2005 and saw more than 200 million users at its peak. This original version of the site features content filters and human moderators to keep inappropriate messages from being shared. However, following its closure in 2017, unofficial clones of the site began to rear their head, and many of these disabled the original content filters. The BBC found that moderators were no longer removing racist content, and players were engaging in penguin e-sex, sending and receiving explicit pictures. Club Penguin Online had previously accrued over 8 million users across the course of 2 years, making it one of the biggest fan replicas of the game to appear following the closure of the original official release. The title recently experienced a surge in more than 1 million users during the coronavirus pandemic.
Fucking penguin e-sex, dude. Penguin e-sex?
I guess so.
The fuck is that?
In a since-removed blog post, Club Penguin Online confirmed it will no longer be running after May 2020 due to the copyright claim. If anyone does try to revive the game, it'll be extremely difficult now that you have to worry about Disney, and in all honesty, it isn't worth it, reads the statement.
Oh, dude, whoever started that site is going to be sued into oblivion by Disney, clearly.
The full claim, which can be viewed on the Lumen database, states the website is blah, 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 blah. So basically, Disney had some kind of weird Club Penguin game / social media network that they were running that was heavily moderated and, all that bullshit. But they decided for whatever reason it wasn't worth running, so they closed it. And a bunch of people were like, we miss Club Penguin, so they opened some new ones, and then it was like the fucking Wild West, I guess. And people started having penguin e-sex and sending each other explicit images, and like predators found it, and all this other stuff happened. So,
dude, I want to get back on Habbo Hotel. It was just like this.
Habbo Hotel, goddammit.
It was just like this. But it was back. It was like in the early 2000s. But Habbo Hotel, like you'd create your stupid little avatar, and then there was this like virtual hotel / resort area where you could go around and go to all these different places, and people would just be chilling. But I used to go into it just to like mess with people,
right?
Because like it wasn't a really well designed game, and they didn't really take trolling into account, and so like you couldn't walk through people. So there's like a one tile entrance to the pool, so you could trap people in the pool, or keep people out of the pool when all they wanted to do was just swim in their virtual little world, you know. Or you could trap people off the dance floor, like, because a lot of people like to go chill in the little club that had like music playing. But you just like if you had two dudes, which I frequently did, you could stand in the door of the club and just keep like people would gather outside and just be like, "Why can't we go inside?" And you're just like, you know, because none of you are cool enough to come in here or whatever, you know, like you could just do whatever you want.
It's like real life. Like people, can we get in the club? No.
Yeah.
Please. No.
It was great, man. They added some, like, eventually they started fighting back against hooligans like me and added like moderators that could move you around.
Or like exactly move your character. Like you're teleported back to, you know, your house or whatever it is where you started.
But in those early days, man, Habbo Hotel was the place to go troll, man, because people would get so fucking worked up. You didn't even really have to like block them. You could just provoke arguments on Habbo Hotel so quickly and just watch people get more and more furious. And then when they tried to leave to go to their house, you blocked the door out, you know?
Oh damn, dude! I like how Paul's grift in every game was just how to fucking fuck people over and mess with them.
Here's how you fucking
look. I this game clocked in about 20 fucking minutes.
I'm telling you, dude. I love a game where you can fuck with people, and it's become
so
rare.
Now.
Yeah, it's so rare because people whine. Like I've seen it firsthand. I know for a fact that I've reduced multiple little tweens to tears in my video game career. I just know. I've been mean. I've been heartless. I've been cruel. I've taken their property in games, and I've taken control of their fucking characters, and I've kept them from having any kind of fun at all. You know, and I guarantee you there have been multiple tears shed over just my fun in a game. But I miss it. I miss games that allowed me to be toxic as hell and take advantage of all the little exploits and shit.
Why are you so evil?
Dude, I always just love the Paul's Island schemes.
I think that's probably the last story for the plebs.
Get out of here, plebs. You're not allowed. You're not allowed on the dance floor. You're not cool enough.
Yeah,
you're not allowed on the Habbo dance floor. Only the patrons.
Blocking your entrance.
The patrons are already in there shaking their asses, getting drunk. But you know, I mean, you could be in there too.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like hard to get in.
$5 cover charge.
Yeah, you just got to do it.